Today I'm gonna show you how to make a high energy beat for future the way Southside and ATL Jacob make them. Let's not waste any more time and jump right into it. First instrument I've got is this Electro X with this pad preset from Eve McCree's Salsinator Bank. The melody is very simple. It's a C minor chord with only these 4 notes: C, G, D sharp and D. As you probably know by now, the D sharp and the D create the tension you need for this kind of melodies. For effects on this melody, I've added an EQ, a halftime with 30% mix, a Valhalla vintage, a backmask with 20% mix, and another EQ to cut the low end. After adding the effect, I've rendered the melody out and then reversed it. I've added another backmask and this shaper box with the sidechain preset on. And this is how it sounds now. Second sound I've added was this one-shot key. I've played the key on the root note and duplicated 1 octave higher. All I added for effect is a Valhalla vintage verb, and this is how it sounds. Next thing I did, I copied the main melody, duplicated it, and made it unique so I can mess around with it without affecting the main melody. Then I pressed the stretch button and stretched the sample from 8 bars to 4 bars, thus making it 2 times faster. I've then chopped the second and the 4th bar and only left the first one and the 3rd one. I've added this Echo Boy delay as an effect, and this is how it sounds after the effect. The sample was lacking some texture, so I've added these 2 one-shot accents. For effects, I've added the Valhalla vintage verb and this Echo Boy. And this is how the texture accents sound. Next thing I've added was this bell. For effects, I've added this Echo Boy, a Valhalla vintage verb, and this looper reader. This is how the bell sounds. At this point, I still felt like the sample needed something else, some other accent. And so I found this one-shot ethnic accent and I laid down this pattern. I've added a Valhalla vintage for some reverb and this Echo Boy for some delay. And this is how it sounds after the effects. Last thing I've added was this bass from Omnisphere. It's still my favorite bass from Omnisphere. It's the Growler Moog bass. I've laid down this bouncy pattern on the root note, and this is how it sounds. The only effects I've added was this EQ cutting some high end, and this decapitator with a beefy preset. One last thing I've added to fill the melody is this one. Basically, it's the main melody, but pitched down 1 full octave. I've added this transition, and basically that's it for the sample. But before I render the melody out, I routed all the melodies through 1 master bus. And the effects I've added on this bus are RC20 with this preset to make the sample more vintage, this Ozone 9 that's adding some excitement and image on the mids and high end, and this limiter to make the sample louder. This is how the sample sounds after all the processing. And now let's quickly go over the drums. I started with the classic trap snare. I've added these hi-hats. These counter snares. Open hats. These perks. This reverse open hat. The 808. and I've complemented the 808 with a few kicks. And that's it for this tutorial, guys. Thank you once again for watching. My name is Andrew, and I see you in the next video. Bye.
Andrew, please shut the fuck up.